What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Week 1 recap for the Butts and Stuff Fantasy Football League. Guys, not a bad first week. Pretty slow for everybody not named James, um, who's the only one to eclipse 100 points, which kind of sucks. Mainly because, fuck James. But nonetheless, James did eclipse 100 points. The only one to do so, meaning he is going to be our week MVP, and that's how we're going to jump this video off. James had 4 players over 10 points, including Kareem Hunt at 40.6, which makes the case for one of the highest opening scoring weeks in fantasy history. So Kareem Hunt, top scorer, running back, top scorer on James's team. He only had 2 players under 5 points, but above all, he beat Wilson. And honestly, I can't think of 2 worse people to play each other because it's kind of like the Steelers playing the Patriots. Is you want both of them to lose by 1,000 points. I would literally root for Team Saddam Hussein over Wilson or James. But nonetheless, he did beat Wilson, and watching Wilson lose is always good. So, James, weekly MVP, good week, man. I guess your weird-ass rant that you went on to start the week worked. Still don't know what the hell all that was about. It was I don't know how many times you're going to call us ladies before it's still not funny. Weekly dunces. We're going to have 2 of these, and they were actually in the same matchup. The dunce number 1 is going to be iJams. Poor dude. He had 48.7 points, which makes a case for lowest scoring in our previous 2 seasons. Really, really bad. He only had 1 player over 10. He had 4 players under 5, and he had 2 at 0 or less. He actually had a negative 0.6 at his receiver slot. So pretty embarrassing to boot. He also lost 2 of his running backs. David Johnson out for quite some time. It's the number 1 overall pick for our draft. So that sucks. And Danny Woodhead, another running back that's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. So iJam's tough way to start the season, man. Maybe if you were in the land of the home and the brave, then the land of the home of the free. I'm not as much of an American as I probably should be. But if you were an American, maybe your team wouldn't suck as bad. Dunce number 2 is going to be Graham, the guy that beat iJams. Literally the only way that Graham was going to get a win was playing iJams. He had 58.5 points. 5 players with 5 or less, and Tyreek Hill was his only player with more than 11 points on the week. He had 10.7 from his quarterback and a flex. But really just an embarrassing week for both of them. Neither one of you deserved to win. Unfortunately, only one of you did get a win. Or fortunately, only one of you got a win. And that's Graham. So, Graham, you're going to have to step your shit up. You got a long season ahead of you. iJam's the same. Let's get into the rest of the matchups, the things that we haven't gone over. So Thomas beat Mitch 91.4 to 70.8 in the raining on Trump's parade matchup. So congratulations there, Thomas. As we mentioned, Graham beat iJams 58.8 to 48.7 in the slap fight with no hair pulling matchup. Charlie beat Rob 97.1 to 84.8 in the weird sex toys are weirdly better than racism matchup. I beat Sam by the skin of my teeth. I beat Scam. Your new name. I beat Scam 94.8 to 94.2 in the too many sex innuendos to make a joke matchup. Change your fucking team name, by the way, Sam. Dan beat Lauren 81.1 to 70.8 in the Jesus probably didn't frown upon sodomy matchup. And then James, as we mentioned, beat Will 115 to 87.8. And is that a side effect of the Zeke virus? Because you may need to get that checked out matchup. So congratulations to all those wins. Next week, a couple of pretty cool matchups between 1-0 teams. I've got James. Oh, fuck him up. Skinny little bastard. So I've got James, and then Charlie's got Graham. Never thought Charlie would see 1-0, but it happened. So Charlie and Graham in the other 1-0 matchup. We've also got iJams versus Mitch in the rematch of the battle for the Sacco from last year, our 2 last place teams, both going up against each other 0-1 to start the season. Then the other matchups, Thomas has got Rob, Dan's going to play Scam, and Wilson's got Lorne. So those matchup names and all of that goodies will be around for next week's video. But nonetheless, I want to go over that. Top scorers for every position. Quarterback. Really interesting the way quarterbacks work out this week. Only one quarterback in the top 5 scoring quarterbacks was owned in more than 45% of leagues, and that was Matt Stafford. He's owned in 100% of leagues, but the other 4 are owned in 45% or less of leagues. So really kind of interesting to see how our top quarterbacks, the Rodgers, the Brees, the Bradys, Cam's in that conversation. I don't care what anybody thinks. It's a top quarterback. Nonetheless, none of those guys were top scorers this week. Top scoring quarterback was Alex Smith. He had 31 points. He was on the waiver wire. And Stafford was the only of those top 5 quarterbacks that was actually starting in our league. Sam Bradford was rostered. Carson Wentz was rostered. Trevor Siemian, nowhere to be seen. Nobody even thought about putting that guy on a roster. But Stafford was the only one of those top 5 that was started in our league, and that was for Mitch. So, Mitch, good call on having a top five quarterback. You still got your ass kicked. But Alex Smith, top scoring quarterback on waivers. Top scoring running back was Kareem Hunt, also for the Chiefs. He had 40.6 points, as we mentioned earlier, for James. He had 246 total yards, which is a record for a player's debut, a skill position player. He had 3 TDs, just a hell of a NFL debut, and if he's healthy, a sign of things to come. But it is the Chiefs, and they typically find a way to screw things up. Top scoring wide receiver, both of these guys right here. Stephon Diggs was the top with 20.7 points for Wilson. He had 2 TDs on the opening night of the season. First Viking to do that since Randy Moss. So kind of a big comparison there to put him up with Randy Moss, but he did it. The other one, Tyreek Hill, another Chief. They had a killer. If you missed the Thursday night game, fuck the Patriots. Always root for anybody over the Patriots. Tyreek Hill had 19.8, as we mentioned earlier. Top scoring tight ends. The top 2 scoring tight ends were both on the waiver wire. The first one, Austin Hooper for the Falcons, had 18.8 points, largely due to an 88-yard touchdown pass that was a broken play and really kind of a fluke, so don't be going nuts over this guy. A lot of those points, I guess you'd say 8.8, 14.8 of those points were on that single play. So really a lackluster week other than that. The other one was Jesse James, who had a big week for the Steelers, 16.1 points. He was only started in 2% of ESPN leagues. He had a 2-touchdown season opener. So that's a tight end if you're looking for one that could be a really nice add for you going forward. Top scoring defenses. Defenses just killed this week. 3 of the top 7 scorers in all of fantasy in the ESPN and our standard scoring were defenses. The Rams, the Jags, and the Eagles. But the top scoring defenses were the Rams and the Jags, both at 29. I had the Rams. Charlie had the Jags. Rams had 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, only allowed 9 points to a really, really, really JV-esque Colts offense. Scott Tolzien, whatever his name is, has no business in the NFL at all. Just really, really embarrassing. And then the Jags really made the Texans look pretty stupid on offense, despite the one drive by Deshaun Watson. Like I said, put up 29 points, 1 interception, 3 fumble recoveries, a touchdown, only allowed 7 points, which was on Deshaun Jackson's first drive in the NFL, which was kind of cool. So 2 really big weeks from the Rams and the Jags, but not something I think that's going to be a regular occurrence for either defense. Top scoring kickers, again, top 2 were on waivers. The first one, I'm going to butcher his name, is Giorgio Tavascio. Whatever. He was Sebastian Janikowski's replacement for the Raiders. He had 19 points. Not sure if Janikowski's looking at having a job when he comes back. The guy was really, really good. We'll applaud Janikowski for being on the sideline, rooting him on the whole way, though. Wasn't a poor sport about it at all. And then Greg Zerlin had 17 points as well, so he was the second scoring kicker. So that's our tops for each position. Going into the next week, a lot. If you look at the scoring from each position, a lot of nice waiver wire ads from week 1. This happens every year. It's nothing uncommon, but we get to see these offenses and see what we've missed in practice and in preseason workouts. And some of these guys that we had 0 expectations for doing anything have come out and had really good week. Galladay for the Lions, Cohen for the Bears. Not to mention there's been several injuries between Woodhead, David Johnson, Allen Robinson. Fedorowicz for the Texans, the tight end, has gone down for a little bit. So there's going to be some really quality ads from injuries as well as some breakout guys. So hit the waiver wire up, improve your teams. Really low scoring week across our league, and that's just kind of how it goes year by year. Nonetheless, a couple more notes for the week. Thomas survived the flood. If you hadn't talked to Thomas, heard his take on the whole Houston thing. You need to hear that. Hope Morgan continues to do well and her property does not see damage that cannot be fixed. But very kind of all of us to offer the suggestions of how she might be able to remedy her predicament. So nonetheless, there's on the flood. If you hadn't called Thomas, you probably should. Be a decent fucking friend. James, like I said, went on a really weird rant beginning of the season. I don't know what that was. I could imagine him like standing on an ottoman, like giving that speech, and then like halfway through the ottoman flips out from under him and he broke his fucking neck or something. That's what I imagine happening as he's reciting that just really, really weird spiel. By the way, I don't just have a mustache anymore. Idiot. Thomas lost team name of the year to iJams just recently. I guess this is a part of last week, even though iJams just did it this morning. But iJams' new team name, if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to give it away. Go look. Really, really good, especially considering the week one that he had. Thomas still a good team name. On the subject of team names, I don't think you should have to change your team name from the year before, unless you're Sam, because you didn't come up with that. So come up with a fucking team name, dude. We played a week. But I think it would be appropriate if you change your team name every year. So guys, get in there, change your team name. I know they were all good last year, especially the Ortiz got Sandusky to win. Ha ha ha. Funny, Dan. Get a little creative. Go change that shit. Lastly, the only other award I'm going to give out is the Condescending Cocksucker Award, and that's going to go to James. The highest elevation on the peninsula. Who says that? Who are you? This is going to be a really long season, and you better hope I don't drive my ass to Charleston, because if I see you, I'm probably going to give you a really big hug, tell you I miss you, and then kick you in the balls. Guys, that's it for the week. A lot of information, but I think considering the fact that I've been sick, I hope you guys don't make fun of my voice and shit. It was a decent video. I appreciate you guys tuning in for all 13 minutes of it. I'm not going to carry it out a whole lot longer, but I know you guys will watch until the final thing clicks, so I don't mind to keep you here for another 30 seconds or something. Good luck this week. I hope everybody's staying safe through all the hurricane shit. I don't think that anybody other than maybe Thomas and James have even been in danger, so I hope everything goes well. And James clearly isn't in danger because he's at the highest point on the peninsula. Dumbass. That's it, guys. Best of luck for the rest of the week. Good luck on the waiver wire. Hope we get some good ads, improve our rosters, and by all means, who's got Wilson this week? Go Lauren. Beat Wilson. Talk to you guys soon. See you figuratively on the group chat.